What up? What it do? It's your boy JDQ with Vision Ivy TV, and tonight we are continuing the raffle for this beautiful, amazing issue number one of Silver Sable. All right, the green screen is on, so it looks like you're looking through it, but I'll try to show you guys how it looks like later on. But just know that this is the comic book that we're raffling tonight. All right, and I will be putting it on display in a few seconds or a few minutes. But before we get to that, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to anyone and everyone who, at one point or another, in some way, shape, or form, will be here with me tonight. I'm gonna be here until like 10:30 ish, around there, um, and then I'll call it a night. As always, if we do not reach the 100 entries that I always strive to reach for the raffle to actually take place, we will pause the raffle and continue it another day until we reach the 100 entries for the raffle or the comic book to be raffled off. The rules are very simple, very very simple. And but I'll say them out loud right now, and I'll try to type them in the live chat and bring them up on the screen. But it's very simple. So the way the raffle works is you could enter or buy a ticket, a raffle ticket, for as low as $1, with the maximum amount allowed per person being 20 tickets, meaning $20. All right. Um, the comics that I raffle, some of them are part of my dad's old collection. Some of them are part of my old collection. And some of them are issues that I bought maybe recently, like a few months ago, that I was going to flip anyways on eBay or one of the like platforms like Whatnot. Um, but I'm deciding to, pretty much like gift them all away. And the reason why I say, or one of the main reasons why I say I never start the raffle until we reach at least 100 entries, meaning $100, is because that guarantees me that for sure, I'm not going to get lowballed. I'm not going to be taken advantage of, while at the same time giving multiple people a chance to, obtain the comic book at a very, very low price. It is always up to you guys how much you're willing to put into it. Obviously, the more entries that you put in, the more chances that you might get picked, because I use a random name generator. So, pretty much you buy the tickets, right? The raffle tickets through PayPal and Cash App, and that lets me know how many entries you bought. Then I put your name or your username on here into the automatic username random generator, and then I put it in how many times you bought the raffles or the entries or whatever, and then I hit a button. It randomizes all the usernames and it selects one winner, and so on and so forth. I'll probably explain it again throughout the stream, but those are the rules. It's very simple, very straightforward. I've had people that have bought multiple raffle tickets, and spread them out through the viewers and say, hey, I'm buying this many, but I want to spread my entries throughout the live viewers that are watching right now. And you could do that. Like, who's to say? You know what I mean? Because someone could say, "Oh, I bought 20 for myself, and I'm buying whatever 20 more under a different name." I don't know, and I can't verify. You know what I mean? So that's something that it is what it is. Like, if that person is willing to put up that many entries for themselves or for them, and people that they want to gift the potential prize to, then that's up to them. Like, I'm not gonna You know what I mean? Like I can only be so strict. So the maximum allowed, the maximum raffle entries allowed per person is supposed to be 20, but you know what I mean? Like if you just happen to buy 60 raffle entries under like three different names, then I can't really stop you. So but anyways, this is the raffle. I mean the comic book that we're raffling tonight. Let me turn off the green screen so you guys can actually appreciate the colors on the comic book. So give me 1 second. I apologize. All right. Okay, so that is the actual comic book in all its glory. I'm going to try to display it. Wow. My apologies, guys. Don't know where that came from, but whatever. Okay. I'm trying to put this in a way where it actually stays up. Give me 1 second. Apologize. Okay, there we go. This might actually work because it worked last time, so why wouldn't it work this time, right? All right. Oh, okay. There we go. It's a little better. Don't know if it's gonna stay all the way up because it's like not wanting to cooperate right now, but I'm trying to keep it to where it won't move. You know what? Let's do this. Okay, that's the best I can do right now. So I hope you guys are able to appreciate that right now because that's the best I can do. Honest to God. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to place like a video to run in the background. That way it's not just me just yapping my mouth and potentially sounding boring. Probably but okay. My bad. Me. Okay, there we go. Oh, by the way, I was able to keep the screen from the raffle names that bought entries last time from last night. So it's still I have it on the tab over here. So thankfully, it never cleared out. So yeah, that's a huge plus. All right, here we go.
Respect Silver Sable. I mean, she's the only person that can get away with wearing Dr. Doom's outfit. Silver Sable is one of those incredible fighters, super soldier type characters, even if they don't have superpowered type characters that still can fight superpowered people, even if she doesn't, because of her fighting skills, agility, training, martial arts ability, and etc. Marksmanship with guns. Because in Marvel and DC Comics, you can do superhuman stuff with just hard work and dedication and training, right? The amazing potential of comic book humans, right? That's kind of how Silver Sable is. She makes normal humans look like a joke, and she's an outlier compared to your average human on the planet of 7 billion people. Her father worked in conjunction with the government of Symkaria, created the Wild Pack, a group of professional soldiers whose job was to hunt down Nazi war criminals. That was how her father worked, and she was given birth. Silver Sable watched her mother die in her arms, the victim of terrorist attacks. Sable trained her entire life, becoming a master of wide variety of weapons, trained in armed forms of hand-to-hand combat, mercenary skills, Silver Sable has physical incredible attributes, but before I get to that, she is very techy when it comes to her standard gear. Like she has a sword, a taser sword, for example, grapple gun, invisible cloak, yeah, for invisibility, smoke bomb. There's even stories that actually break it down for us to list her gear. Like how it pretty much says it here, wields a custom-made pistol, several throwing apparatuses, weighted half moon-shaped projectiles of her own design, and wears a Kevlar lined costume to protect her from gunfire. She has employed a ring-mounted glass cutter, a gyro jet, a pistol, a tranquilizer dart gun, taser rod, a jetpack, night vision, goggles, and a combat diving suit. A variety of high-tech weapons produced by Simcaria scientists, including a portable electromagnetic pulse generator and a variety of sophisticated firearms. Silver Sable. Other gear like smoke grenades, tear gas grenades, magnesium flares, bright. She has rods that have taser type of modes, her own rocket launcher, big explosive type stuff that can level buildings if she needs, guns that can just fire straight up energy projection, and jetpacks, and even nose plugs. If you want to get a summary of Silver Sable, she's in right here. It says it's extraordinary hand-to-hand combatant, martial artist, and expert marksmanship, and swordswoman. She speaks different languages as well. She's very agile and possesses exceptional strength, speed, and reflexes, which you're going to see in this video. There was even a time she was an international bounty hunter, all that good stuff for Silver Sable. She's like super soldier like even without serum because she like beat a super soldier in a fun game, or one could say little exercise type of activity, showing her athleticism and strength in general. All kind of epic stuff like that, Silver Sable. But how strong is she? For one, she trains daily against several groups of ninjas, showing that she can fight waves of skilled fighters, skills with several different weapons. You see the staff, see how she uses them in combat here. Also not neglecting her normal melee combat. She's so good at fighting, she can casually beat up waves of people. She can do it and have casual conversations using swords and etc. She's skilled enough and fast enough in fighting speed, physicals, and etc. to fight an actual super soldier like Black Widow, who is a legit super soldier type being. When it comes to her physical attributes, you can tell by the way she jumps in the air, agility, withstanding long falls, jumps onto stuff that's about to take off, jumping from one boat to another. Notice how she's on this ledge, but she's got the agility to get herself up. She be doing leapfrogging type stuff, showing her physical. When somebody's trying to knife her, she says, "Nah, I counter. I ain't weak as you think." Of course, her physical strength mixed with her skills is a deadly combination, like choking out this being like this fast, or just simply breaking free of being tied in the chair. Part of this is thanks to battle IQ and just IQ in general. She can just tear beings free of machines. You can tell she ain't normal by the way she throws things into walls. A good example is how she tossed this guard here and went flying. Even gotten in tangles with super soldiers like Deadpool and even threw him out of the window during the middle of a fight like this. Throws a propane tank in the middle of combat. Most skilled fighters can punch harder than what they can even lift, and she is very much trained, so of course she can do something similar to this. It's obvious on how she kicks this goon off the bike, and she gets the bike herself. Same with characters like Mockingbird, skilled fighters. Well, she was invisible here. Super soldier tier, she fights and even KOs a mind-controlled Captain America. Lady Gorgon, she ain't want none of that smoke. Even if you're well trained, it doesn't matter. She's better. Even compliments them saying they're well trained. She can just shatter your skull with a hit. Her physicals is impressive, like how she can shatter this tree with a kick, also showing her training and exercising. Hits Luke Cage in a low blow. It seems to cause him discomfort. But yeah, I ain't gonna say she's as strong as Luke Cage. During training, she can go a little bit overboard. Spider-Man type characters that I have a video about that's pretty freaking strong. She can do this to him. Somebody that's a Spider-Man level being to some degree. Big booted through the window. Just because you're a couple dozen Hydra agents doesn't mean y'all can't get curb stomped. With a swing kick, can KO beings like Boomerang. She's strong enough to literally kick the head off a training dummy. She's not afraid to chop you in the back of the neck and knock you out. Like, this is kind of like showing some pressure point type of knowledge. Random goons, I'm telling y'all not on her level. Get murdered. Even if you're professional goons, with her agility, marksmanship, and everything put together, y'all get beat down. Even goes as far as bashing through a wooden door. Notice how she used a blade like a sword and can spar with this many and beat them all, mixing in sword combat with some chops here and there. She can throw her blades hard enough to cut through chains, trips beings that are physically stronger than her to get the drop on them, like Thunderball. Came up to Luke Cage and kicked him. She damages Doombot's heads with her kicking power. Spider-Man was more than likely holding back, but hey, she surprised him and broke out of his grip. She kicks a concrete wall and kind of cracks it. She can even throw her stuff so hard where they crack the walls, or hard enough to throw through robots. Physical, she can pry open the elevator door with her bare hands. Comes up this car, goes through the windshield, and curb stomps them in the car while they're driving. can knock out grown men with a single punch. When it comes to her reflexes or fighting speed, avoiding bullets is a common thing in Marvel, leaping out of the way of bullets on several different occasions. She can throw her projectiles before y'all can even shoot the gun. Can parry sword attacks even if she doesn't have a blade herself. Using a combination of her fighting battle IQ, can find out what a gun is based on the sound of certain things. Dodging flamethrowers. You see the gun that close to her head, and assassin she was able to counter with her fighting speed rivaling her own. Even when the gunman had the better angle on her, she was able to turn fast enough to shoot him first. She's able to react just from feeling the rush of air. Or even if you're a surprise attacker and she's not paying attention. She's dodged blasts from Iron Man. When Hawkeye was mind controlled, she reacted to his arrows, dodges attacks from Whiplash, even Gatling gun fire. She just straight up avoided. Superhumans like Hydra Man, she can dodge their attacks. Surprise blast she can slide under. A literal knife gun she dodges attacks from, bruh. Just dodging around attacks and disabling them with projectiles or different ways. Imposter Dr. Doom, she avoided attacks from him. Don't ask, that's funny. She's dressed up as Dr. Doom. Even if you got mech suit, she avoids attacks from you too. Paintball gun, she just dodges that easily. Just dances through a laser grid like it ain't nothing because of agility. Imagine falling and still avoiding gunfire. You guys know how helicopters and helicopter blades work, right? And you know how the helicopter blades be bailing, right? Like the blades is super fast, right? Tell me why Silver Sable can swing right under the blades. Probably because of fighting speed and agility and acrobatics. One of the fastest metahuman type characters like Spider-Man even called her fast, so I'm not exaggerating her speed. More cases of her dodging gunfire with her. She pulls Luke Cage in front of her in time, dodges attacks like this. Plasma blast she can dodge. In this occasion, Spider-Man ducks underneath gunfire. Even point blank blast she can dodge. It's pretty good too. Spider-Man fighting somebody else, popped him here. Power cells that are mid-flight she can shoot. She's got some Deadshot type stuff like the ricochet bullet to flip a switch. Ain't that cool? Even if she has a ricochet baton, she threw it against Hawkeye and ricocheted back at her Silver Sable. Accurate enough to split your sunglasses with a bullet. A whole bunch of Majagoons. She just go in there like a one-woman army and shoot them all the way up on her own. Using these skills to disarm characters like Hammerhead with her marksmanship, or use her accuracy to blind a monster by throwing projectiles at his eyes. For able disabling soldiers with thrown apparatuses, or disables a gunman from outside a window. Punisher's scope got messed up, the stuff he be sniping with. Stupid boats, I know where to shoot them to bust them up. Hydra members even get disarmed. Disarming beings from distances that far away. These bladed things she throws so accurately that she stacks them on top of each other with each throw. You bullseye now? And she's pretty intelligent in things you probably wouldn't expect her to be. I mean, she has crazy tech for a reason, like cloaking tech, and that's how she escaped Rhino. She did this while she was badly injured at that. She's the one that designs these throwing weapons, by the way. Even against beings we all could agree are superior to her in every way, she can use her battle IQ, wits, and etc. to get the advantage. By using a fire extinguisher against her? Are you kidding me, man? This made him feel apparently nauseous. Hydra Man just cannot get a break against her. Even when he's trying to blitz her here, nope. She can trick you into blasting each other during the heat of combat. She can even tell if you're a different Spider-Man by the way he moves. She's not afraid of interrogating people. When there's nowhere to escape, she can just destroy the floor beneath her, dressing up like Dr. Doom and looking epic at the same time, but that's none of my business. She's good at pressure, like multitasking, like defusing a bomb while she's hanging on the side of a train while also defusing it. Not only can she battle against super soldier tiers like Daredevil, but also use his advantages against them. She can identify a poison by the smell. Battling beings like Sabretooth, she uses her strategies to make the wall collapse on Sabretooth. Improvisation is something she specializes in to escape dangerous situations. She's able to identify bombs that are in disguise. It's just something she seems to be able to do or does on a daily basis. She's battled Carnage-type characters or symbiotic-type beings, thanks to a mix of her gear, laser sword, and etc. That's respectable. She be sword.
Jess wanted to start a business when something surprising happens.
Today, I'm going to teach you how to crochet.
She started crocheting, like a lot.
As
And her
every
friends
time
noticed.
there's like more people
Jess.
on the stream.
But dueling
like,
beings that are
Ursus
very
decides
skilled as
to-
well. Straight up comes to a drug lab, just pulls up in there and cleans house on the place. Oh yeah, she's not afraid of actually taking your life, just in case you were curious. She goes blow for blow with Colleen Wing and hand-to-hand fighting ability, eventually defeating her. She's not afraid to fight a Nazi underwater, getting stabbed, pain tolerance. Even when a shark pulls up on her, she ain't afraid to stab it. Just because you got her in a good grip doesn't mean she can't wrestle her way out of it. Got in a full-blown fight with Luke Cage. Since she has a massive strength disadvantage, she had to use ways like hurting his eyes and stuff and get the jump on him. Gets in a straight up fight. Extended panel for panel kick against Punisher. Somebody that I would definitely consider in them super soldier ranges, despite them not having no powers, it don't matter. Even after falling into a pit, and she still can counterattack. And I got you in the leg, Punisher. Battle IQ, blinding Doombots with its own cape. That's some battle IQ right there. And you better not have several weapons laying around because you can destroy you with their own weapons laying around. Improvisation, baby. Even beings that are invisible should use her battle IQ to track them down, beating people in fencing because of her combat ability. Group of Hydra soldiers, she can still take on by herself. Even being grappled by Spider-Man, she escapes it because of skills and strength and etc. She got stealth skills to be able to vanish out of sight, can pilot different stuff like planes. The thing about her is that all this stuff
Guys,
combined
hold on, let me
with
press
her gear,
pause.
it's implied she has.
So real quick, I'm only gonna be here until 10:30. If by 10:30 we don't reach the maximum of the 100 entries or more, then we'll pause the raffle and continue it tomorrow, and so on and so forth until we do reach the 100 entries for the start of the raffle for this comic book. So if y'all could help me spread the word, share the link forward with your friends, co-workers, neighbors, whoever you think you might they might be interested in this issue. Obviously, every actual raffle is for, like, different mixed comics. So like I said at the very beginning, some of the comics that I'm raffling off during these streams are part of my old collection. Some of them are part of my father's old collection, and some of them, like this one, I had bought months ago to potentially flip it on the secondary market, so eBay, whatnot, places like that. But I'm giving it away practically, pretty much, during these raffles, because if you're only putting in like $1 to enter the raffle, that alone sets you up for an opportunity to potentially, possibly getting it for $1. And I got this for like, I think it was like $20 or something like that, because it's in like really good condition. So I'm trying to give stuff away. I'm trying to give it away, but obviously at the same time, I'm trying not to lose. You know what I mean? Again, the reason why I wait for the raffles to reach at least 100 entries or more is because I want to make sure and I want to guarantee myself that I won't get lowballed, I won't get taken advantage of. If I paid 20, $25 for something and someone is telling me that they're gonna buy it for like $5, I'm losing. You know what I mean? So that being the case, I put the minimum amount of entries to start raffling it off, or like start picking out names out of the hat, if you will, at 100 or more. So you can enter the raffle for as little as $1, and with that $1, you're already, what I'm saying, potentially in positioning yourself to win the comic book for with just $1. So very simple, very straightforward. You know what I mean? Like there's no, yeah, it's just really straightforward. But I am gonna end the stream at 10:30. So whatever happens or doesn't happen by 10:30, you know what I mean? I'll call it a night, and yeah, continue about my business, and we pause the raffle and continue it the next day until we raffle this off. I have I have so many comic books that I'm trying to raffle off, but if there's no movement, no engagement, it just takes longer to get rid of it and on to the next comic book. So yeah, the more people get involved, the quicker the comic book is raffled away, and the quicker we can go through the different comics that I'm trying to raffle off.
Gear that can even damage or severely harm beings like Rhino to some degree. Some help with Spider-Man type characters against Rhino and stuff. How strong do you think Silver Sable is? Do you think Silver Saber concretes herself with the super soldiers? Do you understand how crazy it is to be a human in Marvel or DC to be able to jump to these ranges with hard work and dedication and training? Respect Silver Sable, but I also got to give a quick shout out to everybody that has took the time to donate to the channel. Respect Silver Sable. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.
Right. I'm gonna try to pick another video that way. Again, that's not just like me talking or whatever. Um, here, let's do this one, I guess. Whatever.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel, The Real Super
God, I
Sam.
used to
Today
have this
is another
comic book.
top 5 stories list on the channel, and I hope you enjoy.
Nice.
Happy New Year 2021, everybody. Today is January 1st, and for this day, a unique
Yes.
top 5 best stories
Sorry
list
for
is
the whole
uploaded.
video, but I mean,
This is the first top 5 stories
it kind of
list for
has
a
to do with
character who is
topics.
a hero, so I think a lot of people know of great stories for her that's not on the list, so that will be cool to learn about. There was a lot of stories with Silver Sable, and I think I have found the very best ones for a fan, or if you just want to read more about her. This was a challenging video to make because there are so many stories I never read before to go through, and again, the fact that there are so many stories of her that are good and still making a top 5 list, but I think I got the interesting list that works. Without further ado, here are the top 5 best Silver Sable stories. Number 5, Silver and Bold. This story is very recent and was published in Silver Sable in the Wild Pack, issue 36. After faking her death, Silver Sable is back and going after Norman Osborn. With her and her wild pack, they are on a rescue mission, and we see Silver Sable at her best. One of their crew goes south and betrays her, causing her to be captured also, so she and the capturees have to survive together. A lot of this issue and why it is on the top 5 is how good and cool it has Silver Sable act. Anyway, there are some other great
I
Silver Sable
apologize
issues
if
that
I
I
was
will
being
list
loud.
at the end of the video, but this one
Breathe
I
into
couldn't
my
leave
nose,
off
but
because it was
it's okay.
awesome.
Stuffy, not
Number
stuffy, but
4,
I'm just trying to
Recouping
breathe.
Losses, My Enemy, My Ally. This awesome adventure was in Silver Sable in the Wild Pack issues 18 and 19. This issue had a lot of great, unique things with Silver Sable that we don't really see her care about in modern day, and perhaps at their greatest. Here, Silver Sable is contemplating going after people with superpowers. After that, she is invited for a television interview where she gets in a screaming match defending herself in the Wild Pack. As the cover says, this time the Wild Pack is after Eddie Brock, aka Venom. At this time, though, Venom is a hero after his, deal with Spider-Man, and Silver Sable is still after him because she thinks that he really is a threat still, even after all the good he's done. The reason I like this story, it is during one of the times Sandman was in the Wild Pack, and it shows Silver Sable making a bargain with Venom, letting him go if he helps her. Yeah, at the end of this issue, Venom and Silver Sable team up to stop a group of henchmen bad guys, and it's pretty fun and pretty unique to see Silver Sable and Venom just on the same page, something I never thought would happen. Silver Sable seems like a cold, uncaring character at first, but getting to read a little bit about her, or a lot about her, sometimes she is the opposite. These issues showed that perfectly, and these issues also, there's a part which shows that what happens right after Amazing Spider-Man issue 281, when Sandman first joined up with Silver Sable. Number 3, Silver Sable. This story is about Ultimate Silver Sable from Earth 1610, published in Ultimate Spider-Man issues 86 through 90. Silver Sable and her wild pack have been hired to capture Spider-Man. She has been hired by Donald Roxxon so we can talk to Spider-Man about who has been attacking his company Roxxon, like when Omega Red attacked him. This story, like everything in the Ultimate Universe, is a modern take on Silver Sable. For instance, the wild pack is only Silver and 3 people, but going after Spider-Man, they make a mistake and capture Flash Thompson, and the rest of the story is this group getting together and working for Roxxon. Here, it tells us the ultimate Silver Sable's origin story, which is kind of like her 616 counterpart. Her dad was a Nazi hunter and never around, and her mom was an alcoholic and abused her. After her father died, she decided to become like her father and train. In the end, there is a cool scene which shows Silver Sable make sure she is under the radar, threatening her employer that she will kill him if he says anything about Silver Sable, ever. Anyway, it is an interesting situation to have Silver Sable in, and they did it in a way better than when she goes after Spider-Man in the Spectacular Spider-Man issues 128 and 129, and I guess also in the video games. It was really cool and fun to see how she acts against superpowered individuals. I think this is a good Silver Sable story, really good, considering this is one of her only appearances in the Ultimate Universe, and such a big one, and I actually put it on the top 5 list at number 3. Number 2, Savage is Disable. This is issue 279 of The Amazing Spider-Man, where Spider-Man was gone, which was happening in Web of Spider-Man 17 and 18, and his side character was the star of the issue. Here, it was for Silver Sable, and she was face-to-face with Jack-O-Lantern. A distress call from some members of the Wild Pack have Silver Sable rushing to their location, but she gets there too late. Fortunately, there was no casualties. The members talk about how she was probably just happy she didn't have to pay death benefits. After that, Silver is training and talks to her uncle Mortimer, who is going to pay, and she says that the client will and that they are going after an international terrorist to bring him to justice. Later, Silver Sable is wondering where Spider-Man is for help going after the terrorist to his jack-o'-lantern. While she walks, a liquor store got robbed and the members are escaping. Their leader, called Snake, shoots a mother in front of her daughter, which reminds Sable of her mom. The issue becomes Silver going after a normal goon and jack-o'-lantern. In the end, when she only has the choice to capture one, she takes the morally right choice for herself and captures Snake. Silver Sable's first time fighting a supervillain is shown in this issue, and is so cool, especially with the villain Jack-O'-Lantern, and like I said, she almost wins. One of the best things is how unique a character Silver Sable was becoming in her early days. Here, she does TV interviews where she is questioned about her job, she goes after and fights Jack-O'-Lantern, and still is very smart and fancy. And number one best story for Silver Sable is called Origins. The greatest Silver Sable story ever is definitely, to me, Silver Sable and the Wild Pack, issue 9. Silver Sable has become more violent and mad, something has changed within her. As you guessed, the whole issue is about Silver Sable's entire origin. Her dad was a Nazi hunter and had his own wild pack that killed hundreds of Nazis. Every time Sable wanted to learn more about her dad, her mom refused and said she wanted a better life for her. There, she was even questioning on if what her dad was doing was entirely right. One night, Silver had heard about Nazis about to secretly attack her dad, and it caused the death of her mom. After that, her dad trained her to fight with them. Yeah, this is the greatest Silver Sable story. It's mostly about her past and first times doing a lot of things she is known for today. It also sets up another storyline happening later in the series. It's also cool to see some self-realization with Silver Sable looking back at her past and who she is now. It was a good story and fun read, and if you want to read one new Silver Sable story, it had better be this one. So those are my top 5 best Silver Sable stories in my opinion. Some more great Silver Sable stories and her appearances, they are in The Amazing Spider-Man 301, Captain America issue 419, and Silver and Fortune 4-issue miniseries. But those just didn't make the list because Silver Sable wasn't really in them much or had much great things to do. These ones are definitely ones I think fans will enjoy or people just want to learn more. Personally, I'm not really a fan of Silver Sable. If she wasn't a Spider-Man character, I wouldn't even know more than what would be on a trading card about her, but I am glad I was asked so much to do this video and I had fun doing it. With that said, Happy New Year 2021. Thank you all for watching and have a great year.
You want to go for the handful like Boban,
Now you can.
with the goldfish Boban hand dish.
My hand as a dish for goldfish for you.
Do you like getting high? I have the perfect solution for you. You need to try these Delta 9.
What a commercial to roll right now.
Greetings, true believers, and welcome to another sensational episode of History of the Marvel Universe. Today's tale begins in the cold Balkan nation of Simkaria, where, in the years following World War II, little Silver Sablanova was born to Simkarian parents Ernst and Anastasia. Shortly after his daughter's birth, Ernst Sablanov was appointed by the king to be the leader of the Wild Pack, an elite squad of soldiers dedicated to hunting down and eliminating escaped Nazi war criminals. And despite his violent profession, young Silver idolized her father. However, Anastasia wanted better for her daughter and prayed that she would never follow in his footsteps. But then one day, after sneaking away from her mother, Silver overheard Nazi spies plotting to ambush the Wild Pack. She ran off to warn her father, inadvertently leading the assassins right to him. And as Anastasia searched for her daughter, she unknowingly placed herself between the Nazis and their target. When the shooting started, it was Anastasia Sablanova who was the one to be struck down. Silver's mother died in her arms when she was only 7 years old. It was shortly after this that her hair began to change color to match her name. And despite her mother's wishes, sometime over the next 5 years, Silver began training with her father. She spent her teenage years honing her skills, becoming an expert swordsman, martial artist, and gymnast. She also developed a unique three-pronged throwing weapon that she named a chai. Meanwhile, Ernst secretly shared command of the Wild Pack with his twin brother Fritz. This allowed Ernst to accomplish tactics that required him to literally be in 2 places at once. Fritz also contributed to Silver's training, passing on his tactical and technical skills. By the time she was 17, the white-haired woman was deemed ready to join her father on his Nazi hunting expeditions. During their first mission together, Silver had a notorious fugitive at her mercy, while one of his men held Ernst at gunpoint, resulting in a standoff. Disobeying her father's order to execute the war criminal, Silver instead shot the man threatening her father, giving the old Nazi the opportunity to stab her in the side. Ernst chastised his daughter for letting her emotions get the better of her, but determined to prove herself, Silver pulled the knife from her body and threw it back towards its owner, pinning her target to the nearest wall. After the success of this mission, Ernst was gifted a castle from the Simkarian monarchy, and Silver was assigned to be his second in command. However, Ernst was growing older and more stubborn, and while Silver believed that she was ready to take his place, her father refused. Furthermore, their next target was none other than Ivan Trefkov, the man who had killed Silver's mother. Anastasia's brother, Morty, tried to convince Ernst to retire, but he was determined to have vengeance. Ironically, while Ernst chastised his daughter for not controlling her emotions, he allowed himself to make rash emotional decisions. This would be his downfall when the Wild Pack tracked down Trefkov, who had joined forces with the terrorist group known as Hydra. While he sent Silver and the rest of his team to an unmanned section of the Hydra ship, Ernst found Trefkov himself. While he could have easily taken out his enemy with a single shot, the enraged widower instead attacked with his bare hands. Fortunately, Silver had the foresight to plant a tracking device on her father and led her men right to him in the midst of his scuffle with Trefkov. She took aim at the old Nazi, but for a moment she hesitated, fearing that her disobedience in going after her father would spell the end of her career. That moment was all it took for Trefkov to stab Ernst in the chest, seemingly killing him. Lashing out, an enraged Silver ordered her men to slaughter the Hydra troops. In the resulting confusion, Trefkov began to escape with his victim's body. Silver gave chase, attempting to catch her father's killer, but the tide of battle began turning against the Wild Pack, as several of their members were shot and killed. When Trefkov attempted to escape by boat, the remaining Simkarians took matters into their own hands and went after him. However, the Nazi criminal was heavily armed and destroyed the pursuing boat with a well-aimed rocket. In the end, Trefkov escaped with Sablanov's body, leaving only Silver alive. Silver learned a harsh lesson that day, that without discipline, without being able to command respect and obedience, people would die. People she was responsible for. Following this, because of her country's dwindling economy, she rebuilt the Wild Pack as a mercenary organization. Taking the name Silver Sable, she and her elite unit accepted high-paying jobs from around the world to fund their exploits and boost the Simkarian economy. While she retained her morals and would only fight for causes that she deemed worthy, she also became cold, calculating, and vehemently pragmatic. During one mission, she encountered the enigmatic assassin known as the Foreigner. Introducing himself as Basil, the Foreigner had been hired to kill Sable, but seemingly on a whim, he decided not to. Following this, the two actually fought side by side, and a romance quickly blossomed between them. Falling in love for the first time, Silver Sable agreed to marry her mysterious suitor, and the two became husband and wife. Despite being together for several years, Basil continued to keep many of his dealings a secret from his wife. This came to a head when Sable was hired to guard the United States president during a peace negotiation. After an attempted assassination, Silver Sable gave chase, tackling and unmasking the would-be killer, only to find that it was, in fact, her own husband. The Foreigner used a hypnotic technique to distract Sable just long enough for him to make his escape. Weeks later, she received divorce papers in the mail as well as a challenge to attempt to kill her ex-husband before he was able to do the same to her. This became a perverse game over the next decade, as the Foreigner would lay various traps for his former wife, although neither was able to take out the other. During these years, she built the renown of her mercenary business, and Silver Sable International became the cornerstone of the Simkarian economy. She even began having annual dinner meetings with Victor von Doom, the monarch of the neighboring country of Latveria, to ensure continued diplomacy. Readers were first introduced to Silver Sable when she and her company were hired to apprehend the aging international jewel thief known as the Black Fox. While pursuing their quarry, Sable's mercenaries were attacked by the masked vigilante Spider-Man. This was because the wall crawler saw the masked trooper shooting at the old man and came to the wrong conclusion. While Spider-Man allowed the fox to go free, he did obtain the stolen jewels and turned them over to Silver Sable, the reward for which made up for the lost bounty. The masked vigilante's strength and power intrigued Silver, and she endeavored to keep an eye on him. In subsequent encounters, Silver Sable would sometimes fight alongside or even hire Spider-Man, and despite clashing ideologies, the two have become allies and occasional partners in various globe-spanning adventures. Spider-Man is not the only enhanced individual Sable has worked with, and she has also hired or recruited others including Sandman, Battlestar, and Paladin.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that.
In fact, it was the mercenary Paladin who first discovered the existence of the Genesis Coalition, a rogue Hydra division which employed Ivan Trevkov, the Nazi war criminal who had killed Sable's parents. And during an encounter with the forces of the Genesis Coalition, Silver learned that her father was still alive and held captive. The truth is that after Ernst Sablenov's apparent death, his brother Fritz went in search of his body. Fritz surrendered to Trevkov's forces, hoping to learn more about his brother's fate, only to be subjected to months of torture at the hands of the mad Nazi. Eventually, out of desperation and madness, Fritz joined forces with Trevkov and presented a plan to form the Genesis Coalition, secretly plotting to use it against Hydra. And part of this plan involved using the captive Ernst as a living computer, draining his mind of secrets and strategies. Silver Sable learned all of this after leading an assault on the Genesis Coalition stronghold and encountering her uncle Fritz. Outnumbered and outgunned, Sable surrendered and was captured by Fritz and Trevkov. However, she did so knowing that the Foreigner had followed her there by disguising himself as one of the Genesis Coalition's foot soldiers. Not wishing anyone else to interfere with their game, the Foreigner freed Sable and joined in her assault. Silver tracked down and attacked Trevkov, the old Nazi, proving to be no match for the younger and stronger woman. For the first and perhaps the only time, Silver Sable killed a helpless opponent in cold blood. However, she had little time to consider this as she was quickly confronted by Fritz. Sable knew that her uncle's madness was the result of his months of torture, and so she wanted to save him and get him help. But before their battle could resolve, Fritz was shot and killed by the foreigner. In a rage, Silver attacked her former husband, badly battering him. After defeating him, she could have easily taken his life, but she decided to spare him, demanding that he stay out of her life from that day forward, effectively ending the twisted game between them. Fortunately, Silver was able to recover her father and return him home to Simcaria, where he could begin to recover from the traumatic experience. Reunited at last, the old man finally expressed the love for his daughter that he was once too stubborn to show. Since then, Silver Sable has continued to fight for causes that she believes in. Even during times when she doesn't have the backing of the Simcarian government, she will do what she believes is right for her country and the world at large. And that is the origin of Silver Sable. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, share the video, and subscribe for more marvelous content. Be sure to leave a comment letting me know what Marvel hero or villain you want to hear about next, and as always, the issues referenced in this video are listed in the description below if you would like to read them for yourself, as well as links to other places you can find me, including my Patreon page where for only $1 a month you can get your name in these special thanks here. So until next time, true believers, Excelsior!
What?
Loaded with delicious details. The new green goddess caprese milk from Panera.
I forgot about that, yo, because I had the game. And, all right.
Now this is an upgrade. Experience more with a $300 travel credit from Chase Sapphire Reserve.
SM1, code SM1, holding for orders. Copy code SM1. I have a visual. Hold for Silverbird.
Nice entrance. Solid 8 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Release him. He works with us.
Yuri, explanation, please?
This is Silver Sablinova, head of Sable International, a private security force, paid for by Mayor Osborne.
Oh, the mayor has a pet army now?
Next time you get in my way, I will not be so gentle. Go. We'll talk later.
This way, Dr. Michaels. What the hell is that? Hostile! Secure the package. Get him moving!
Welcome aboard, Doctor.
You're a popular guy.
Where's the serum?
Gone.
This Goya. So-called superhero. You think you save people, but you just make it worse. This is your fault.
My fault. He was under your protection.
All right. So it is 10:30. There has not been any entries at all tonight. So I will be pausing tonight's raffle and continuing it probably tomorrow or Monday to give myself like a little break on the weekend. So if we don't continue the raffle for this one tomorrow or Sunday, then definitely we will resume it on Monday. However, before I go, just a quick reminder, just show you guys some of the things that have been raffled off. So this was raffled off last night, I believe. Hold on, let me take this out the way. This one was raffled away last night. And then, okay, here we go. This is going to Kitty. She won this, I believe, last night. And then, no, not last night, the night before last night. I'm sorry. And then Ray, brother Ray from the Pred Catching community. Let me see if I can get the ones that he won real quick. Where we put them? No. All right, and then Ray from the Ray Pred Catching community won this a few nights ago, and also won this a few nights ago. So these issues that I just showed you guys right now are some examples of what to expect on these raffles. All right, it's a mixture of vintage comics, and if you saw the Silver Saber one, a little bit, I wouldn't say modern because it's still old. It's from like the 80s, I think, or early 90s. Let me see. Yeah, 1992. So it's a mixed batch. You could get something really, really vintage like this, you know what I mean? Or like this, or something more modern. It just depends on what I feel like raffling out that night. But these are being shipped tomorrow. These are going out to Ray tomorrow. And this one is going out tomorrow for Kitty. So I'll be wrapping these up tonight. And first thing in the morning, ship them off to the respectful winners. And yeah, man, for those of you who have been hesitant about these raffles, I feel extremely, extremely sorry for you because I am gifting these out. Like I'm gifting these comics out pretty much at $1 a pop for per entry. So, I mean, it is what it is. I know a lot of people aren't like, it's hard for them to like trust these types of things. I get it. But I will ask for a super small favor with Ray and Kitty. And I hope they see this. But I mean, I'll text them anyways. But once they receive their prize, like their comic books, please share them on social media. Let them know that we're doing these $1 raffle entry giveaways with vintage comics, modern comics, anything in between. So if you're interested in that or know someone who is interested in that, I will highly appreciate it if you share this link forward. and any other stream that has to do with these raffles. I would really appreciate it. What I'm going to do is probably tomorrow on Sunday, I will try to make some type of like um like stable promotion for these streams. Hopefully that helps traction and brings more people in. The more people that is participating, the faster the raffles will, be executed, and hopefully go through the comics that I'm wanting to give away and wanting to gift away. But yeah, that being said, those of you who were here for however long you were here, I appreciate the love and support. Um, and yeah, you guys have a blessed night. Stay safe. And until next time, as always, JDQ with Vision Eye View TV out.